meds today. You may not know. Yeah, I had a couple hip surgeries, so I'm varying the meds, and I found ones that really they make me dizzy. Anyway, Peggy, can you hear us? Oh, big shot of my head. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. We have one speaker, Ben. We have a guest today, Nicholas. You can stand up if you want, and you can do the hello, this is who I am.
Hello, my name is Nicholas.
Whoa.
How do you get that?
I don't know. We might be watching dogs. This is how we roll here. Just kind of go with the flow. We'll try to figure out.
The president that knows how to do that isn't here.
My name is Nicholas. I work at Matthews.
Hey, Jake, hold on. Okay. Go ahead.
And I'm originally from Arizona, and I've been staying here for about 4 years now. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Yay!
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
Okay, good. I was getting that thing going, so I didn't work on the next thing. No other guests. Well, technically, we have, are you going to be joining us, do you think? Or are you still in guest mode?
I gave him my...
Oh, yay! Okay, so I was gonna, yeah, I'm glad. And I like it looks like a frog. Oh, I like it. Nice. What does it symbolize?
It's the logo for the company.
Oh, well, there we go. See, we learn a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeremy's doing some other fun thing today. Greg, I'm sure we'll get that working.
No, I won't. Don't be sure.
Oh, or maybe won't. So, Peggy, you can see her on this little tiny screen. And let's see. We have one guest. We're building our membership up. Those who have not yet paid, please pay.
I did today.
Okay, awesome. So that's great. And the theme for today is roles we've played, or will play, potentially in your case. I'm gonna watch the clock, and if we get to the point where we're looking like we're behind schedule, and I can't do my speech and give it justice, I'll just do it next month, and we'll do a couple of extra table topics. And we can repeat them if you want, or I have some table topics. Okay?
Yeah, I'm doing something weird, so.
Okay, that's good. Weird is good. Okay, who would like to be timer? I can't remember.
I can be timer.
You can be timer? Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll introduce the Toastmaster. Hi, I'm Kathryn Murtha. Today is my first day as Toastmaster. The first thing I'm going to do is introduce Peggy, who is real tiny on there. Peggy used to live here, and now she's in Texas. So normally we would have her up there, but we got half of the technical stuff figured out. So Peggy, I will introduce you because you are, thankfully, yay, our general evaluator for today. And we'll test to see if we can hear you okay.
I'm trying to see.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So as general evaluator, I'm just going to observe from afar, remotely to monitor the timing. That I have an evaluation team, which I'll introduce in a second, and just see how things run smoothly. Any kind of glitches, any things that went well, things that didn't go well. And I'll give a report at the end of the meeting. But to introduce my team, I just heard that Larissa's going to be timer.
Yes.
So I want to have each one of my team members just give a elevator speech or whatever what you're going to be doing as that role today. So Larissa, would you explain what the timer will do?
Absolutely. I'm the timer. I'm here to make sure that all speeches and table topics and evaluations stay on track. So the speeches will be giving a time frame. So I will hold up green when you're getting close, yellow when you hit the time, and then red is you're done. Wrap it up, kind of a thing. So keep your eyes on me if you're speaking. Otherwise, have a great meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Ben, do you want to tell Larissa what your timing for your speeches?
Oh, it'll be 6 minutes.
6 minutes, okay.
So 5 to 7.
5 to 7, you got it.
Thank you.
5 to 7, okay. And in case you are going to be speaking, Kathryn, how long are you expecting? 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so the same thing. Okay, the next is the grammarian, or then the grammarian will also provide a word of the day. And that is Daniel. Daniel, I don't think I've met you, but do you have an idea of what you're going to be doing today?
Yeah, so I'll start off with grammarian. Grammarian will listen for proper grammar and will mark down if there's anything that may be improved while you're doing your speech or you're doing your table topics. And I also have the word of the day. The word of the day today is a word that if you can try to use it throughout your speeches or pugnacious.
Ooh, I like that.
Pugnacious is an adjective, and it means someone described as pugnacious shows a readiness or desire to fight or argue. An example is, there's one pugnacious member on the committee who won't agree to anything. Pugnacious.
Can you spell that?
Yes, it's spelled P-U-G-N-A-C-I-O-U-S.
Good work.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take one pass.
Thank you. And the icon is going to be Joe. Hi, Joe.
think they
Can
all
you
have theirs.
explain what you're going to be doing?
Maybe.
I will do outcome. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
I'll watch for it. Correct me if I'm wrong, refresh my memory.
You're going to be, oh, go ahead. Yep.
I'm gonna watch for I'll do the and,
Do you have it?
I know I don't.
Did I get it?
So I'll watch for so's, ahs, things like that.
Okay, yeah, a little bit different than grammar itself. And I would also, if you, Daniel, if you do hear something that was worded well, so not just so much things that can improve, but also things that can be worded, that were worded well.
Correct.
And the evaluation team really doesn't have to monitor every single person that speaks. It's just the speakers, the evaluators, the table topics. So when Kathryn's acting as a Toastmaster, you don't have to do that. It's just the speaking roles. Okay? And then the team will provide their results at the end of the meeting. Go ahead, Kathryn.
Okay, I'm not gonna keep moving over there because my orthopedic surgeon would not want me jumping over those wires. So I'm gonna, from here, introduce our first speaker of the day. Drum roll, please. Mr. Ben Cabot. We know a lot of things about Ben, but what you may not know is Ben is very experienced in project planning and community involvement. You can stand. You may stand. I know you can. You may.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go this way. He's held a high office in the New York State Junior Chamber of Commerce, serving as Management Development Vice President. In his career of community service, he's also received the New York State Governorship Award and the International Junior Chamber Senatorship Award. Twice, Ben was recognized in 1982 and 1989 as an Outstanding Young Man of America. So he comes here to share his ideas and to serve you. Welcome with me, Ben Cabot, Independent Party Candidate for City Council.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that humbling introduction, which I wrote myself. Before you is some literature I passed out in 1995. For some reason that I don't know, I decided, I think I'll run for city council. So I did. So now I'm going to encourage you to vote for me. I'm your candidate for city council, and let me explain why. When a person is faced with challenges, overcomes obstacles, and enjoys success with small steps it takes to fulfill community needs and change the world for a better place, such activities develop the type of character that is thirsty to do more, to seek greater challenges. I am inspired to serve my community as I witness the many volunteers and membership organizations providing service, as opposed to those pugnacious people that don't do anything. Many people are actively wrestling with the issues, providing solutions to the needs of others, and by their effort, the world is a better place. Leadership comes from experience, the trial and error of doing and discovery of what one can do. Discovering that no one person can accomplish much alone. It is by working together as a team, planning and cooperating toward a shared vision that society is improved. Some candidates compile a form of negative campaigning with a list of almost hostile blame and negativity. I wish to be your candidate of choice to bring a fresh, independent view into City Council. As a member of the Elks Lodge, our mission is to promote charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. As your lawmaker, I promise to sensibly analyze and diligently pursue fair, compassionate, and organized resolutions to all matters developed and considered with the City Council members. With my experience of working with the many volunteer organizations, I have skills with interacting with many types of personalities. Everyone wants to achieve success. At times, in developing ideas through committee work, conflict may arise. By calm and meditative discussion, sometimes requiring compromise, the best opinion shall prevail for the benefit of our public service. I see in our future a revival of spirit, a special pride of getting more people involved in fulfilling the needs of the community, encouraging neighbors and neighborhoods to keep their streets and property clean and tidy. I foresee community agencies that team elderly with youth in need to share history, wisdom, and motivation. Binghamton can be awakened with a new attitude. The threshold to cross is to allow open doors of opportunity for citywide participation of the public. More public events in parks, greater use of arenas, theaters, and stadiums with economic prices for free access to entertainment. My education in engineering and business management and marketing will assist the useful contributions to lawmaking decisions. I will help address vacant property upgrades, working with the Broome County Land Bank to engineer a better Binghamton. With my real estate knowledge, I will market the benefits of bringing business, factories, and people to Binghamton. I was a life member of the Junior Chamber of Commerce. I was awarded a life membership. And you had to be out when you're 39 years old. Well, now that I'm 73, I can't do that. But at every meeting, we read the JC Creed, which is kind of ingrained. I used to have it memorized. I'm going to have to read it because I'm going to start crying probably. But this is the JC Creed. We said at every meeting. We believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be of laws rather than of men, that Earth's greatest treasure lies in human personality, and that our service to humanity is the best work of life. That's the creed I said a couple times a week when we were having our meetings. So the pugnacious people, they can be on their own, just doing what they don't do, while we, the City of Binghamton, are going to upgrade, put on our work clothes, get to work, and make a better Binghamton. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to your vote for making Binghamton great.
Again.
I told Ben I'd vote for him, but I don't live in Binghamton. Do you want to say what your response was?
I'm going to get the law changed before I get there, that anybody from anywhere in Broome County can vote for a city council in Binghamton.
That's our Ben.
So are you running again?
No.
Oh, okay. This was,
They wanted
back
a
in
speech, so
95,
I wrote this 15 minutes ago, and I thought I'd give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
I really thought you were running. I was going to go out and start canvassing for you. So thanks for telling me.
What was the vote back in 95?
Well, I was running
was it?
independent. I was running independent candidate.
Yeah.
I'm not an independent candidate anymore. But I heard that the Republicans were busing people down from Syracuse to manage, work the neighborhoods. So the vote was 500 to 100. So I did get 100 votes.
Okay.
And there was no Democratic candidate. I approached the Democrats and said, will you endorse me? You don't have the candidate. Oh, we don't do that. Okay.
We only endorse Democrats, right?
So I got 100 votes.
Nice. Okay. I don't know why I look at my watch. positions. I think we've got enough
Terry
time
Kresge.
to do the second speech.
Which caused a
So,
lot of problems.
as Toastmaster, I'll introduce myself. That's myself. This speech today is called My Long and Winding Road. And Kathryn will present this, talk a little bit more about her career. I spoke a little bit about, I'm just going to be me and forget about whether I'm wearing the Toastmasters hat or not. I did in my, for those that are new, we do have an icebreaker speech that is supposed to be your first speech here that tells people a little bit about your background. So of course I'm doing everything kind of backwards. I did one where I practiced a speech that I was going to give to some young STEM women at a conference. Today I'm going to give you, don't worry, I'm not going to go through it all, but I am going to talk a little bit about my career, some of the things that I've learned along the way. And I won't be, actually I'm pugnacious, now I understand that people were actually insulting me over the years. Anyway, so 5 to 7 minutes, okay. My long and winding road. As I was putting together some of my comments, I realized that my parents had a lot to do with where I am now and the career paths that I've taken. They were, my mom's gone, but my dad's still around. They were great parents to have as a kid. They allowed us to try a lot of different things. Swimming, that stuck. Ballet. My mom really was bummed she made that investment because I still walk into tables and stuff. But one of the things that I found with both my parents is they were both in service roles, so to speak, in their own way. My mom had a job when we were little, my brother and I were young. She worked at a place called Family Service Center in my hometown in Marietta, Ohio, and it was helping at-risk families and their kids. When we got a little bit older, she took a job at Fenton Art Glass. I don't know if you've ever seen, it's real fancy glass. They usually would carry it at Hallmark stores, hand-blown, kind of like hoarding, but in the little tiny town called Williamstown, West Virginia, which is just over the river from where I grew up. She was there for 24 years, and she only left because she had a terminal diagnosis of lung cancer. My dad, on the other hand, was somebody who, I'll say, got bored easily. He got his PhD in math, taught, was a professor when I was growing up. At one point, he took a sabbatical, went to Penn State, and he got a degree in petroleum engineering. He came back and taught that for a while. He was also the dean of the college for a while. Then he left and he went out to do some consulting, and he worked for Halliburton. He worked for a bunch of different places. So what I learned, I realized as I was getting ready for this is, number one, my mom loved her job. If she started to get a sniffle, she'd be like, I can't get sick. I can't wait to go to work on Monday. And I'm thinking, what? And my dad, he loved his job. He put his all into it. But he was okay with retraining. And who walks away from tenure? Not a lot of people walk away from a tenured position in a college, and he did. And he went out on his own. So what I got from that as a kid and getting ready to go to college is, if you don't like the job or the career that you have, be brave. Figure out what you might want to do next. Even if it's not forever, like my mom, you can do something new. My dad succeeded in all these things. He's still around, he's 86, he's still having fun, and he's reaping benefits of having met people all over the world and traveled a lot and had a great time. So I'm very grateful that I learned a little bit from both of those wonderful parents. This is making noise. I went to Purdue thinking I would find something I would really want to do. I did a bunch of co-op sessions at IBM and Owego, and the very last one, 6 months before I was going to graduate, I found hardware design engineering, and I thought, ooh, this is fun, it's simple, it's either a 1 or it's a 0, and we get to work on B. B-52, space shuttle, space station, so I got an opportunity to do some design, and part of my design is, unless they took it off, it's theoretically going around and around in the space station, which is kind of cool. I got bored with that, and I ended up transferring with my boyfriend from Owego. That first job was in Owego, and I went out to Boulder, and I thought, ooh, Boulder, this could be fun. So I stayed there for a year and got bored, and I was supposedly doing software test. I thought, oh, how cool is that? I can learn something about software. No, I was writing test specs for a year. No problem, I'm a good writer, but it was boring. So they had a buyout package, so I took that, and then I was in Boulder, and I did telemarketing, and I sold some OSHA requirement testing forms to doctor's offices, basically using a phone. I'm great on the phone, I love, and back in the day, some of you remember where you had to pay like 25 cents a minute, so my phone bills were huge. So I did some of that, ended up getting a job back at IBM, and over the years, I was back and forth, IBM, and then financial planning. So I know at least two of you. Back then it was IES Financial Services, which is now Ameriprise, or I think the final name was Ameriprise now, but that's been over 100 years. So in that role, I got to help people that were trying to figure out how do they survive currently and how do they get into retirement and not have to be the 90-year-old working at McDonald's and serving up fries. So that was fun. I was good at the relationship building, but I didn't like all the rules and the laws and stuff, so God bless you both for doing that. At one point I started my own business, and that was really fun. I know somebody that knows something about a business, right? People think, oh, I'm gonna have my own business, this should be so much fun, I can make billions of dollars and it's not gonna be much work. Well, is that correct? No, right. That's what I found out. It's a ton more work, more responsibility. You can blame yourself if something went wrong, and you can give yourself kudos if something goes right. So I got out of that. I went back to IBM a couple of times. I did some business development, and some of you know about business development too, right? You get to build relationships, and you get to work with people, and if you don't build some more clients, guess what? You don't buy new shoes and dresses and stuff. So I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Anyway, I ended up back at IBM several different times, but the last thing that I did is I was a software development manager at IBM, and I was loving it. And I told the team when I interviewed, I had to interview with the person who would become my manager, the peers, and the employees. And I walked in, I said, here's the deal. The last time I did, this was 2015 or something, last time I did any software, I was a freshman in college, so I have no clue what all of you do, but I will support you and I will trust you and we'll have some fun. So that's what I did, along with being a pandemic rep for IBM Endicott. And that's what turned my hair this color. That's what gave me the opportunity. I also got to go with our site location executive to a lot of big events, fun events. Essentially, when she said, do you want to be the pandemic rep? And I said, yeah, pandemic lasts maybe, 6 weeks? She said, oh no, it could last 3 months. Okay, well, we didn't know. But the point is, I had a lot of experience, met a lot of great people. And what I've learned through all of this is I am retired. I'm learning a lot about medicine now with my hip surgeries and stuff, so maybe I'll become a doctor. If you get bored, or if you just want to try something new, I encourage you, well, maybe not you guys, because then, your dad would get mad, I'd be in big trouble. But Kathryn said, if you feel like trying something different, go for it. Have some fun. Dare. Be daring, and know that whatever happens, you'll probably get some great experiences that you can carry forward, and you'll meet a lot of really interesting people, just like I have here. That's the end of my talk. Thank you. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce the Table Topics Master of the Day, Mr. Greg Lesko. Yay!
Thank you, Kathryn.
on the topic of something new and different, because I was trying to think, what we normally do for table topics in April is spring related, or as we know, Easter weekend is this coming weekend, so there's only so many questions about eggs and bunnies and that kind of thing. So I wanted to try, kind of mix it up a little bit. So what I did was I have here a number of pictures of famous people when they were very, very young. So I'm going to pick on you and show you, and hopefully you don't recognize the person, but you're going to have to guess, and you're going to have to tell me a little bit about this person, what makes them interesting. I think we're going to shorten this up because going on 1 minute to 2 minutes might be a little challenging, but try to be creative. Let's do 30 seconds to 1.5 minutes for time on table topics today, and I will start with, and Nicholas, would you like to participate today as well?
Sure.
Okay.
May I also suggest, you are allowed to make up stuff.
Yes, oh yeah.
That's kind of a big.
Even if you recognize the person.
Yeah, you can make it up.
You can pretend it's the person.
Greg Lesko when he was young.
Twin brother or something of that person. So feel free to be as creative as you want, but tell us a little bit about this person, what makes them interesting, what makes them famous, because they're obviously famous people. So I guess I'll start with Daniel.
Oh, wait, I thought you were starting with Nicholas. Oh.
No, I was just asked if he was
okay.
going to participate. All right, so here's a picture of this currently famous person.
A currently famous person. Okay, great. Well,
So
thank you.
tell us about this person, what makes this person famous, maybe what they were doing back then.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is obviously that looks very much like, I believe, Nick Lachey from the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, I think one of those bands. That's prior to him actually becoming famous. I think he was in middle school then. He actually knew a little bit about fashion. He was wearing a suit for his school picture. Maybe that's just a headshot, I'm not sure. But from what I know about him, it looks like he grew up in Canada, played a lot of hockey, and then decided that he actually never lost his young man's voice and could stay really high. So he was going in the falsetto with that group. So yeah, so I think that's who that is.
Nick Lachey, Backstreet Boys, was it?
I think so.
Okay.
Wow.
How many people agree with Daniel on that? All right.
Can we do the I
Any
have
other
no clue?
guesses who this might be?
Donny Osmond.
Brad Pitt.
Could it be Hugh Hefner?
We've got Hugh Hefner, Donny Osmond, Brad Pitt.
Ringo Starr.
Wow.
Oh.
I'll double Ringo.
What decade are we probably guessing is this? 70s, definitely.
Yeah.
This gentleman is my age. It is Tom Cruise.
It is? Oh, wow.
Man, who's
Oh,
impossible
yeah.
and risky
Yeah.
business and all that good stuff. So. All right, let's pick on Joe next. This little bit chubby baby here. You guys see it? I gotta show it to, we'll bring it up here. Little chubby baby. Who are you gonna tell us about this person? Who this person is and what he or she did? To make them mix.
Oh, this looks like Will Clark, famous baseball player, I think early 2000s. I believe he went to school downstate, in the downstate area. He played baseball. I think his first time he came to bat, he batted against Nolan Ryan, and all those teammates were picking on him as like, your first time at bat, you're batting against Nolan Ryan. Do you know who Nolan Ryan is? And his response was, I know Nolan Ryan, but I don't know if he knows who Will Clark is. And he got out, and I think he hit a double or a triple.
Nice.
Nice. All right, how many think it's Will Clark? Ladies and gentlemen, Will Clark. Do we have any other guesses? Famous person.
Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy. Has to be like famous to everybody, not just River City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a newscaster. I can't remember his name though.
Walter Cronkite.
Somebody would
Any
make that.
guesses?
I'm gonna say Michael Phelps. That's what I
Michael Phelps.
Oh.
I'm gonna say, I'll go with Michael Phelps, actually. It's only a trophy. Yeah.
This person's a little older than that. This is Bill Clinton.
No way.
You see it now, right?
Yeah, and it's like something was familiar.
You
Wow.
see it once you know it.
Yeah.
There he is.
Wow. Wow.
That's cool. I like this game.
All right, let's pick on Marissa here. So here's this picture of this famous person, if I can, oh, there we go. Good smile.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Marissa, tell us about this famous person.
So this famous person, you might be able to tell from the photograph, just exudes happiness, and they really wanted to just entertain for a living, so they became an actor. And I think this is Robin Williams, a comedic genius, and had a tendency to improvise a lot of their lines. There was a rumor I heard that his performance in Aladdin was not eligible for an Oscar because he made up so many of the lines that it didn't actually count as performing a routine. It was just improv, which was not capable of being eligible for that Oscar. But as we all know, that he has a very long-standing career, mostly in comedic roles, but also a lot of dramatic roles as well. So, introducing Robin Williams.
Thank you. And that's very fascinating. I wasn't aware that you can't win an Academy Award because it's got to be more scripted, I guess. So it definitely has a nice smile. Anybody agree with Larissa? And if not, who do you guess? Who do you think this is? Any guesses from Peggy there?
No, I don't think it's Robin Williams.
Well, what decade do you think this is? This exudes 80s,
Like Burt,
right?
Burt,
Look at
yeah,
that
right.
style. Look at that hairstyle.
Curly hair, yeah.
So it's somebody younger than me, then as a result.
Carrot Top.
I was in college in the 80s, so Carrot Top. Not a comedian, a singer. Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
We should send that to Justin and say he really looks like Robin.
All right, let's pick on Ben. Even though he gave a speech, do we have enough time? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
or if somebody else wants to.
So Ben, let me put it up here first, just so Peggy can see and people can see it on the screen. Who do you think this little person is?
Wow, a little fuzzy, and it's old. So
That'll tell you something, right?
Judging from the photograph that I'm looking at, the priest is standing behind her, and that's definitely, in my opinion, that's Mother Teresa when she was young. And I can tell that by the cross the gentleman next to her is holding in his hand, or it could be a cane, but it looks like a cross cane. And she's got rosary beads dangling from her neck, the other lady. That's probably Mother Teresa, and she's focused. You can tell by the look on her eyes, she's focused on doing a miracle.
Does anybody guess that's a miracle worker there? Mother Teresa?
Can you hold it up one more time?
Who else do you think?
I think
might
it's
be?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt. You're getting warmer.
It looks just older than.
Jackie Kennedy?
Jackie
It actually-
Kennedy. No?
It almost looks like, what's the daughter of Jackie Kennedy? But it looks too old.
Is it Amelia Earhart?
Lady, that kind of looks like him.
Who is
Ladies and
it?
gentlemen, this is Ronald Reagan.
Oh! Okay, well. You betcha.
That picture was Ronald Reagan?
Yeah. I think he's making this stuff up.
All right, Jake.
Okay.
Well, let me put it up there. I think it helps.
Oh, gosh.
I think it was better over.
Oh, wow.
Oops, there we go.
Yep.
Kind of fuzzy.
Okay, well, the photo
Very fuzzy.
seems to be from looks like the 50s, I would guess, hairstyle and photo quality. So I'll try to guess somebody from the 50s who was a famous person. Would be, let's say it's
A
Donald
little
Trump.
less conviction.
Yeah, I think it's Donald Trump, and he is obviously our president right now. He's bombastic, and you can see that smug, smirky smile, and he's very self-confident, and you can see that that's going to carry him through into a lot of different endeavors.
Any other guesses on this?
I think it's you.
This is an actor, recently passed away. Gene-
Oh, it
Gene
is?
Hackman.
Oh, yeah.
You see it?
Definitely can see it, yeah.
Gene, yes. 95 years old, he's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one more? Got time for one more. Nicholas, who do you think this little person is here?
That's so.
Wow, you're
Put it
getting
up
younger,
there.
that's he.
Aw, looks like my grandson.
Yeah, that's it, Peggy's grandson.
Peggy's grandson.
All right, so.
This right here is Thomas Edison, who's one of the greatest inventors of all time. He is responsible for most of everything we're doing now, especially the light bulb, which is the greatest invention of humankind, which made everybody able to work at night easily without using a candle or a torch. This gentleman is mainly responsible for the turn of the century, and he has created everything we know today just with a simple invention. He's also a master electrician, and he has been influential to all of us, even though he's been passed away for many years now.
One of the most remarkable men in my book too. Amazing invention of the electric light.
He stole it.
Yeah. He was good at that too. So, do we have any other guesses?
No.
That's George W. Bush as a little kid.
No, I thought it was
From the Bush family, the second Bush.
Wow.
Yeah. And my apologies, going back, didn't realize that this is all males. I should have had a female, though we thought one of
Yeah,
them.
Mother Teresa was there.
We had a couple that looked like females.
But anyway, it was something different. I thought it was fun. I think you guys did a great job just describing that. Nobody nailed it, but that was the fun of it. You still got to describe something about the person you thought it might be. So, thank you.
Very good.
Kathryn will finish this out.
Great job.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster, table topics master. Okay, back to Peggy, so that you can call for team reports from your evaluators, please, and thank you.
Okay. I think too that if we had a number of responders, that we could vote on it. I think if I got it down right, was Daniel the first one who responded?
For table
Table
topics?
topic, yes.
Yes.
Table topics, yeah.
Yes.
So I think there was Daniel, Joe, Larissa, Ben, Jake, and Nicholas. Was there somebody else?
That's it.
That was it.
Okay.
So, yeah, so vote for is your favorite table topic response. All of them were
Right.
good. And hand them in to me
Send
when you
that
get a
to-
chance. And
Send
then,
them, yeah.
in the meantime, we need to do our evaluations as well, right?
Who do we send it to?
I brought it.
And along those same lines, if anybody wants to have any comments and evaluation comments, good and bad, or improvement for the speakers, please feel free to write them a note too, what you like about their speech, or what you think many nuggets of improvement that that would help them. Okay, so also part of the evaluation team that I neglected to announce earlier was the speech evaluators. So I'm going to introduce Larissa, who is going to evaluate Ben's speech. Larissa?
Ben, I really enjoyed your speech. I felt that it was a little different from some of the other speeches that you've given.
It
in
was
the
short,
past.
yeah.
Yeah, it was short. And we haven't gotten there yet, but I apologize I was so enthralled in doing the evaluation and listening that I forgot to give you cards, but you did very well. We'll get to that later. But I really enjoyed that you started your speech with humor. I feel that, especially when it comes to a political speech or a campaign speech, I thought that the start with humor, you said something about, how humble the introduction was that you had written for yourself. I felt that broke the ice a bit and made you a little more approachable, which I think in a political setting favors very well. One thing I did note is that when it came to the vocal variety, I thought that perhaps you could use a little bit more. In contrast to the speeches I've heard you give in the past, it almost seemed to lack a little bit of the passion, which you have a lot in the other speeches. Not that it was bad, but I think that in this setting, people are voting for, a future, that sort of thing. So I think having a little bit more passion about the things that you're campaigning on could favor well. And perhaps kind of working in a bit of pacing. So there was one instance you were talking about the underused facilities like theaters and ice rinks and that sort of thing. So kind of accentuating that you hit the problem, like get people riled up that all of these things that are just sitting underutilized and how amazing it would be to have more. You then proposed your tools that you have, so your background in education and how that would favor, fixing this problem, and then the solution that you had further. So I think kind of having harder set lines perhaps could help keep people engaged, because after a while I was just like, wow, Binghamton's got a lot of issues. There's a lot of things going down, and it can be a little overwhelming, I think, or get people kind of lost in that. But overall, really, really well, and if I lived in Binghamton, I would have voted for you.
Might have you for a campaign manager next time.
You're on mute, Peggy.
Yes, you're right. I didn't want my phone or my cat interrupting us. So thank you, Larissa. And like I said, if anybody other has comments for Ben, please pass them along. The second speaker was Kathryn, and Jake is going to evaluate Kathryn. So Jake, can you give us your evaluation of her speech?
Of course. Well, Kathryn, it's always nice to hear more about you. I enjoyed hearing your path, the unconventional career path that led you to where you are now. And we heard a little bit about it, I think, in your other speech that you were giving, which is a good review. I mean, it's hard to remember. There was, so many. Really, you use humor very well throughout. I'm glad you were able to work in the word of the day, pugnacious. I think that term often is used in a much more endearing way, so I don't think that I have too much to worry about.
I was ready to cry.
Your style and tone is so conversational. It's very comforting. It also is engaging. It's like I walked up and had a conversation with you rather than you giving a speech. So very comfortable. So it was nice and smooth, easy to listen to. I didn't feel like I was drifting off. I was hearing everything you're saying. I feel like there are so many jobs to go through in such a short amount of time. I didn't really get to hear much about any of them, just sort of, what they were and when you went from one to the other. So obviously in a format where you'd have a little more time to go into those, that would be great. But maybe for that speech specifically, focus more on a couple or maybe some anecdotes from those jobs so that I could get a better image of sort of what it was. And kind of another thing, because in the end, it was really good how you summed it all up with your conclusion and the theme of kind of don't be afraid to start something new and to kind of upend everything when you might feel like you're not able to do that, and that it might be completely just, life ruining if it's not, is basically what you were saying. But that part I was very interested in, but it was so short and kind of felt like the end. And I thought that, if you had given anecdotes or something that kind of lent to like why maybe you transitioned from one job to another, or what the motivation was, and then that would have kind of lent to that overall conclusion, because that was really the heart of your speech, and I really enjoyed it. So as always, very comfortably conversational and good speaker, and just want to hear more of those stories.
Thank you.
Jay, thank you, Jim. And again, let's not be pugnacious on our comments, but if you want to send some reviews and comments to the speakers. Thank you. Okay, so let's get to the other part of the evaluation, not just the speakers, but the timers. The timer, grammarian, and odd counter will give their reports on the speakers, the evaluators, the table topic respondents. So as timer, Larissa, can you give an idea of how we did with timing?
Yes. So as I mentioned, Ben, I apologize for not giving you the cues, but you were right on time at 6 minutes, 10 seconds. Whoa. I know. So great job there. Kathryn, you went a little over for your allotted time you had given, so you were at 8 minutes, 5 seconds. And then for table topics, most of us were in the same area. So Daniel, you were at 45 seconds. Joe was also at 45. I went 55 seconds. Ben was short and sweet at 30 seconds. Jake was 50, and finally Nick was 52.
And you were 217.
And we had kind of different parameters there for good reasons, so that was a little bit different as far as timing. Normally they go 1 to 2 minutes, but like Greg explained, it was more appropriate to cut them a little bit shorter. For grammarian, Daniel, could you give us your report on the grammarian
yes, thank you,
evaluation?
General Evaluator, Madam General Evaluator. So this is the first time I've actually done this. So I tried to be as lenient as possible. But both of you had fantastic grammar, even in your speech. Kathryn, you had points that you were talking about, but ultimately you were doing a lot from your own personal experience, and you were just expressing those life experiences and job experiences. So I didn't catch any weird interjections or other structures that were incorrect. And then obviously for you, Ben, having written it and having been able to write it as and read it and use it, you have correct grammar structure. Ben, you also used the word of the day, pugnacious, twice. And then you use it once. And then there is also a bonus word of the day on our sheet, which no one has used yet, but we still have time. Thank you.
Thank you. That I always put a bonus word now at the bottom because I'm never quite sure if we're going to get a grammarian and word of the day person before I start assigning.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't catch that, sorry. Okay.
So I would say that's very commendatory of you.
Thank you. Yay.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, we have the odd counter. Joe, can you provide us an evaluation of the odd counter role?
Yes, I don't know if anybody got me. This is hard, because I always tell my lovely wife, before I critique somebody, is I hate to throw stones, because I do this all the time. All right, so Jake shattered records on
Trophy for you.
That's gonna be my personal best.
Peggy, you had 5 odds, 3 ums, 1 so. Larissa, you had 4 odds, 5 so's, 1 but, I think 1 and. Kathryn, you had 1 odd, 1 4 so's, 1 but. And then I had you check for, I think you said and, substituted a word in there as other. Ben, you had 2 odds, 3 so's. Greg, you had 1 and 1 so, maybe 1 and. Daniel, you had 5 odds, 5 ums, 1 other, maybe an and. And Nick, you had 3 odds. This is a great role because this really makes, I love this role because it makes you listen. So I like this stuff.
I don't
Thank
like it because of that.
Thank you.
And as far as table topic voting, Greg, do you have a total?
Yes, it's extremely close. A lot of people received votes, and multiple votes. Nick had 2, and we have a tie. Larissa and Daniel each got 3, so.
All right.
That was a very creative table topic. As a general evaluator, I want to thank Kathryn for wearing so many hats, especially technical, Toastmaster, all that type of thing, and allowing, and this wasn't the same way I can remote access in, so thank you for that and accommodating that. I thought that Kathryn and Greg both included the guests, so that was very good. And I think that the running of the meeting went very well. I mean, we followed the agenda. Kathryn made it, whenever we had a hiccup, we said, well, that's the way we roll, and you couldn't be more right. But I think we just persevere, and everybody gets their say, and anybody has anything they want to add, that's awesome. It's a very comfortable setting. And I think the technology always throws a glitch, and we always seem to overcome it, so. Booyah.
Kudos to Daniel because he got the big screen going for us.
Yeah,
So
thank
you
you.
very much.
You better be joining. I'm glad you paid your money, otherwise you're gonna have to just last so you went some other way.
Who did that, Ben?
Daniel, the new member.
He got you up on the screen, which you may not, here, wait, no,
Yeah.
that wouldn't work.
Yeah, you'll have to.
We're watching you on a little tiny,
Yeah, we were watching you on the
That's what I
computer.
thought I was on, yeah.
and he
Yeah.
managed to hit the right buttons on the screen because he knows that kind of stuff. He's not just a pretty face. Got it
Thank you,
going on.
Dan.
Thank you, Peggy. Okay. All right, we are on time. This is a miracle. With the 2 most loquacious people speaking, I figured we'd be here till 2.
We weren't going to be pugnacious today.
Okay, as far as, I'm just going to be me and the president and VPE. So first, I will ask if any of, technically now, Nicholas, since Daniel just joined, do you have any feedback or comments for us? Nicholas?
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
I mentioned Daniel first, sorry.
No, it's been great. Thanks for having me.
It's as much fun as I told you, right?
Yeah, it's great. I can see this definitely helping me in the future, so.
Okay. Yeah, we hope you consider joining, and if you need another meeting to practice or to just see if you like us, there are a few members missing, but we are pretty laid back. So
I actually know Mike Myers pretty well, so I see his
Oh.
name's on here.
Oh, maybe you could get him to come to the
Yeah.
meeting. I'm
He
not sure
comes
of
like
that.
once a year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us and for participating. And Daniel just put his membership application in today, right? So yay! Thank you.
Kathryn?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but how did you attend the speech contest?
I did attend the first 2, and I keep getting mixed up which is division and which is area and stuff. So after you, when I said at the end of the meeting, when Joseph, our coach, was saying, I saw someone go. So you said, I can go. So I went to the first one, and I got first place. There were 3 of us. So I was happy. Thank you. That was in February. And then in March, I went to whatever the next level is. Don't tell Joseph, our coach, that I can't remember. I even wanted to practice. So I went to that one, and the gentleman who got second to my first and the other one, he and I both went. They take 2. And I got second, and he got first. So one of the questions, and it may come up if I'm ever table topics, was, what is your why in life? And the other one was, what is your biggest dream, and why is it important to you? Anyway, so that was fun. And in a contest, you have from 1 minute to 2.5 minutes in table topics, and they actually have a light instead of my weird yellow fluorescent thing. So yeah, so that was fun. The next contest is this weekend, so I qualified for that, but decided not to go. I don't want to. It's a conference, and I just decided I didn't want to carry this little thingy around with me and try to sit for long hours. But that was fun. Thank you for asking. It was a really good experience, and I would encourage anybody next year if we have a contest or if anybody wants to go. It was a blast.
And this, so.
Where is,
Yeah, I was just.
The next one is in Rochester.
District
This one is
conference in
yes,
Rochester?
the district conference. And the weird thing is, I mean, I still go to bed at like 7:30. The agenda for Friday night was 6:30 to 10:30. I'm like, ah! And then the table topics, it's like, I don't know, drinks and talk, and I don't really drink when I'm on meds anyway. And then it was table topics, and then there wasn't an exact thing. So I thought, if I've got to stay awake until like 10, I'm going to be I'm not, so. Anyway, but that, if anybody wants to go next year, that conference looks like it will have some good keynote speakers and some workshops. I think 4 workshops on personal motivation, personal development, that kind of stuff. So, thank you for asking. It was fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The only other thing that I wanted to, well, 2 things. One is it's getting close to election time. The officers, we have multiple people doing multiple things right now. Elections are coming up, and the new officers will start on July 1st. So if you're thinking about running for something, please consider it. And next meeting, I hope Jeremy will be here. I don't know if Jeremy's gonna run for president again. I don't know if I'm gonna be VP again, VP of Education again. But there are certainly things I've learned and have had some fun. And just consider if you'd like to do it. We could take the people that are currently in the role to give you some more information about it if you're considering it. The only other, I'll ask if anybody else has any other. No? And you, Mr. and Mr. Lesko, as of a few days ago, you had not re-upped. So I'm hoping you're staying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I was late on I thought I had to.
Yeah, it must not be,
check
maybe,
in,
maybe the auto pay.
I thought it was early, I just did mine today, but I thought.
No, it was up at the end of March.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, I don't know why I was thinking June or July.
Yeah, and people are on different schedules. Like I re-upped 3 months ago or whatever, and I made it through September. So if you can do that, that would be great.
Good.
That's always very confusing, because you wish they aligned it with the Toastmaster year. The Toastmaster year ends in June, because the memberships go from March to September and October to March or April.
Right. I was just talking about the officers, but we had we only had 7 people that renewed as of the end of March, and so that wasn't. We're not whatever the right word is.
We needed 8. Yeah.
Yeah. To be distinguished club status. Anyway. The only other thing that I have is we've decided that we are going to select a Toastmaster at the current meeting for the next meeting, and then the Toastmaster can assign any roles that aren't yet filled. So that's why I assigned roles. Who would like to be Toastmaster for May 15th? Wait, is that right? 16th. Yeah, May 15th.
I can be Toastmaster.
Okay. Yay, thank you. And then I'll work with you on the agenda and getting it out. And that if you want to play a role and you're still not comfortable with that spreadsheet, there's only 1 month at a time in there. I'll go hide April and I'll put May out there. And if you don't want to fill that in, just send a note to me so I can put it on the agenda. But it would be so awesome if people would sign up before I send out the agenda, because ask any of my former employees. I'm just not good at beating down on
being
people.
pugnacious.
Yeah.
Now,
That's right.
There is a Pathways training tomorrow, or Saturday morning?
I believe so.
Zoom training?
Yes. And that will probably be pretty good. And I have started, I signed up for Pathways. Pathways, Nicholas and Daniel it's the education program for Toastmasters. It's amazing. And I come from IBM where we had to take 40 hours of training a year. And the resources were huge. Toastmasters International has amazing, and you can pick a language if you know other languages. You could do your training in, Spanish or French or something else. There are a lot of resources out there.
It also sets you on a path and suggests types of speeches you're going to
Yes.
make and things
Yep.
to do, so.
And there are 11 different categories that I haven't memorized, but the one I signed up for is engaging humor. And I don't remember, you signed up for one also, or you were
I was
on.
looking into it, I will be honest.
Okay. Yeah, so you can do that, and I'm learning more. I kind of took this position that I would learn as I needed to learn, because when I first got it, Peggy was VPE before, and Jeremy twisted my arm, or I let him twist my arm to take VPE when he decided to be president, and I looked at all the information about passed out, so I thought I'll learn as I go. But I'd be glad to help anybody.
Fine job.
Thank you. Anybody else before we close, which I believe we're actually going to be? Oh, I babbled a little too much at the end.
So if you're interested in attending this, I've got a link to it. I'll email it to you. Just let me know. Give me your email.
Oh, yeah, yes, the pathways. And I can help people also.
Saturday morning at like 9 a.m. or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Yay! Thank you, Peggy.